What's up, my gamers? This is IDOLWILD. Welcome to this week's episode of Money Play Monday. This time around, I'm going to bring you some techniques to use when you are kicking the ball off to help you pin your opponent down inside the 10-yard line. This first technique is one that I saw used against me online, to where someone kicked the ball off down the middle of the field and it left the ball right before the goal line, and it forced me to either take a safety or take it out for very short yardage. The second technique is where you kick the ball to the side. That I learned that from Zan's video. From Madden Pros, and I'm going to put a link to that video in the description below. I have the difficulty set on Pro right now, just so I can show you using the kick arc meter to show you where you want to put the kicking arc, and then we'll take it off and do all Madden. Quick thing before we get started: if you're new to this channel and you like the content, please subscribe, and if you are a subscriber, please give the video a thumbs up. So, to start off with technique number one, this is one that results in the most safeties. As you use these kickoff techniques when you notice that your opponent is usually running away from the ball when you're kicking it off. So what you want to do is you want to bring the kickoff meter all the way up. This is the difference between the kickoff meter without you touching the left stick, and then this is when you bring it all the way up to 12 o'clock on the left stick. Now you don't want to kick this off at this type of arc, even at full power, because the ball is going to land around the 10 to 15 yard line and the opponent's going to return it. What you want to do is you want to bring it all the way up and bring it down just a little bit to where you can just see the bottom blue arc. You see that bottom blue arc at the top of the screen? That's what you want to see. You want to just see the bottom of the blue arc. And where you want to set the kick power is you want the kick power to be where the blue and the green shades of the meter meet. And what you want to do is you see that the ball starts to drop and it doesn't spin all the way out of the end zone. So if your opponent is the type to move away from the ball, and their computer will pick it up and run backwards toward the end zone. So either A, they're going to run out of bounds and out of the back of the end zone for a safety, or they're going to run forward for a very short yardage. So we're going to do it again. The way I like to set it up online, because the all Madden kick meter isn't as clean as this one, I bring it all the way up to 12 o'clock with the left stick, and then I let it down just a little bit. And then you want the power in between right where the blue and green meter meets, and then you want to kick it off. And let's say it's going to land right before the 5 and it's going to bounce. Now, if you do this technique and your ball is bouncing after the first bounce, it bounces straight out of bounds. That means, it's bouncing right into the back of the end zone. That means A, you gave it not enough arc, or you gave it too much power. And I'm going to show you what that looks like now. So here is not nearly as much as arc as I said to give it. This kick is going to actually be a scratch because I didn't give it enough power. But if you don't give it enough arc and your opponent moves away, it's going to spin back into the end zone. That worked because I didn't give it enough power, so it didn't have enough power for the ball to spin back in the end zone. But you'll notice that sometimes you may give it too much power and not enough arc. So I'm going to switch it over to all Madden to show you guys how it looks like when you want to do the technique with that type. So here we are on all Madden difficulty, and as you can see, the kicking meter has changed. The 3 rungs from pro difficulty are gone, and all we're left with is this half stick of green meter, but we can still make it work if you follow the instructions. So what you want to do is you want to start off with the same steps. You want to pull the left stick straight up to 12 o'clock, and as you can see, the green meter stretches all the way from the ball to the top of your screen. Then what you want to do is you want to drop it just a little bit to where the green meter barely touches the top of the screen. So you can see here the green meter is nowhere near the top of the screen, and here it's just right there, just at the top of the screen. And then you want to set the kick power to the same. You want the kick power to stop at the top where the blue and green meets, and then you want to try to time it at the bottom. This ensures that the ball stops around the 5 or 6 yard line, and then it takes one hop in between the 5 yard line and the goal line. Now what this does is, to the opponents that always like to pull their players away, this makes sure that if they pull their player away, the CPU is going to have to come and recover the ball, and it's going to either lead up to a short return or a safety. There I didn't time the bottom right, so the kick may have a little bit wacky, but it's not an exact science. As you can see here, I didn't time the bottom right, and I still got the kickoff right. Now you don't want to do this every single time, because some players are going to catch on to it and they're just going to return it. See you. So here we are with the second technique. Like I said, this second technique I did not create on my own. I learned this from Zan. He has a YouTube channel on his own. He posts a lot on Mudhead. I'm gonna leave a link to in the description of the video where I found this from. But what this kick does is you aim the kick towards the sideline and make your opponent think that you're gonna kick it out of bounds, and so they'll run away from it, because if it does go out of bounds, it's a penalty on you, and they'll gain about 15 yards and be on the 40 instead of the 25 and then let the kickoff run. Now in this case, in practice mode, since the wind is blowing to the right, if I were to kick it to the right and use the right sideline, it was going to be the wind's going to push it farther right than I want to, and it wouldn't be good for this example. So in this case, I'm going to kick it over to the left. Now what you want to do is you want to pull the kick arc all the way over to the left until right before you can feel the vibration. So I can feel the vibration showing that my kick may go out of bounds right here. So I want to pull it back just a little bit to where you can barely feel the vibration. And then the kick power is going to be the same as the last one. You want to set the kick power to right where the green and blue meet. That was a little bit late, and that's where you want to kick it at. Make sure you want to practice the kick a lot, and if your opponent pulls away, the ball should bounce up like that, and then the CPU is going to pick it up and either run back for a safety, or they're going to run out of bounds like at the 1 or something like that. So we're going to do it one more time on Pro and then show you how it's done on Madden. Right where the green and blue meets. And see, then again, right there I was late. So you don't have to be as precise, but practicing getting that kicking power around that area is going to be good. You see it bounces right there, and it doesn't quite go into the end zone. So if they keep pulling their players back as if they wanted to roll out of the end zone, it's not going to work because the ball won't go that far. So let's take a look at it on all Madden difficulty. So back at all Madden difficulty, as you can see, the kicking meter is gone. See, what you want to do is you want to pull it over to the left till you can barely start feeling the vibration of the controller, and that's when you know to go ahead and give it its juice. I was a little bit too late on the kick power there at the end, so it's going to pull a little farther left than I want to, but it's not an exact science and you don't have to be perfect. But as you can see right there, he's in trouble. He can run up the sideline, but now he's stuck back before the 15. I mean, it's pretty good if you can detail your opponent down so you know where he's going to do in kickoff coverage. I don't recommend doing this on the first kickoff because your opponent will catch on and they're going to return. If they're a decent returner, they can take this back to beyond the 25. That time I didn't get the kick power right, but you guys have seen that this can work. I usually do this. I usually kick off normally on the first few kickoffs so I can get a feel of how my opponent reacts. If he's the type to return everything, then I probably won't do this because I'm technically kicking the ball shorter than what I normally would. So he's going to have less yards to cover, and he's going to be able to get a better return if he returns everything. Like if you see right here, if you return it, you can actually get a decent return if you get blocks down the sideline. We're going to run it one more time just to show you that this works. I actually haven't hit the right power this whole time. That's why you guys need to practice. Right where the controller starts to vibrate. There we go. Looks like I got it right that time. It takes a little bit while to get used to with this controller. So here some guys will pull back and actually gave that a little bit too much power. But that's it for this video. If you guys like the content, please like, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.